What makes you feel good? What floats your boat and makes your steps lighter? What puts a smile on your face without fail and make even your Monday blues disappear? Well, those are the kind of positive ideas we want to focus on because from this point and on, it's good vibes only. On Good Vibes Only, we invite some good people into the studio to talk about good things only. And that is whatever makes us feel happy, whether it's foods, moods, hoods, or goods. And today's good person with the good vibes is YouTuber, author, and philosopher Kim Gyeul, aka Winter Kim. Hello and welcome.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you so much for joining our show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Yeah. Well, you've been on the channel before, but could I ask you to introduce yourself to our global listeners?
Yeah, of course. Hi, my name is Gyeul Kim. Gyeul means winter in Korean, so you can call me Winter. I'm a YouTuber, author, and maybe not a philosopher, you may say. I have to say I'm just a graduate school student who is working on philosophy.
And we're going to talk more about that later.
Later, yeah.
Right, so you introduce a wide range of books on your YouTube channel, which is called 겨울서점, Winter Bookstore. So did you always love books?
Yeah, as long as I can remember. I always love books. I have this photo of me reading a book when I was like 6 years old. The thing is, I was not feeling well at that time, I guess, and my mom gave me this hand acupuncture at that time. So if you have this hand acupuncture on your both hands, you can't hold a book. So there's a photo of me reading a book with my both feet holding the book.
That's how much you love to read books. Wow.
Yeah, so I don't remember exactly, but I have this photo of me doing that. So I guess...
So that's interesting because normally parents would tell their children to read a book. Please go and read a book, but it was the opposite for you.
Yeah.
maybe your parents were worried that your eyesight would
yeah, exactly.
get bad or something, right?
I used to read at late night, so my mom would just come in and
stop
reading. And I was like, I'm sorry, Mom, and then go back.
Wow, that's what happened to my older brother.
Oh,
he liked
really?
to read back then, and my dad would tell him, "눈 나빠져." Like, don't read too much.
What about you?
Me, I didn't like reading when I was a child, not really, but I started to read books, to enjoy reading books when I became like 20, like way later.
Yeah.
So I did have like a 계기, a time when I started to read. I think it was when after I came to Korea to become a trainee.
Yeah.
Like I needed a place, like a safe place
I know that.
to read. I started to read self-help books when I was a 연습생, a trainee. So that's when I began to read properly, to actually
you need
enjoy.
A comfort place.
Yeah, I needed a comforting place. Right, so when and how did you decide you wanted to start a YouTube channel about books?
About books. It was 2017.
That's when you started the channel.
Yeah, I started the channel in 2017, and I was a musician at that time. I'm not right now. I was a musician at that time.
What was your position?
I wrote songs. I was a singer-songwriter, so...
Wow.
Yeah.
So you would play the guitar or the piano?
I played the guitar and piano. Yeah.
Wow. You're a multi-talented person.
Wow. Thank you. So,
amazing.
Yeah, I was a musician. I was a singer-songwriter at that time. So I had a chance to be a radio program host at a small local radio station called Mapo FM.
Mapo FM.
Yeah.
And we're in Mapo. So,
yeah, it's a radio station in Mapo. So.
I see, I live there.
Oh, you live in Mapo.
TMI.
Yeah, so I had a chance to be a radio show host at that time, and I found out I really enjoyed talking about the things I love. At that time, it was about music. So I decided to do my own channel, do my own radio show actually. So I decided to do podcasts at that time, but I was watching a lot of YouTube those days, so maybe I can do some YouTube. So I made my own channel, and then
So it started off as a music channel?
No, I decided to do it on books because I was satisfied with talking about music in that radio show.
So you wanted to talk about something else?
Something else, yeah.
And it was about your love for books.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love the name, your YouTube channel name, 겨울서점.
겨울서점.
That's your name.
Yeah.
겨울.
I had some 후보s like 겨울 책장
Options.
Options. 겨울 책장 or 겨울 책방 or 겨울 책 something. And I thought 겨울서점 kind of had a good pronunciation.
I agree.
Yeah.
I would choose this one too.
Yeah, that's why I chose that one.
Nice. Well, I mean, it's always hard to come up with the content. Like we all want to do YouTube because, everyone's on YouTube. But I think it's so important that you find the right content to do because sometimes it can go all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So it's lucky of you that you were sure about your content.
Yeah. Because I was someone who was like holding a book with my both feet.
Exactly. All right, so in the news, reports talk about how the Koreans don't read enough and parents are always trying to get their children to read more.
That's a problem.
Right? So what do you think helps grow love for books and for reading?
I think the most important thing is to enjoy reading, actually. It should be enjoyable.
Right.
It should be enjoyable.
That goes for children and adults.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I think maybe it's kind of an era where everyone finds challenging to concentrate, so you may need some training with that.
Oh, yeah.
With them, but still you need to find it interesting. You need to find enjoy in that reading.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. So if you want someone to read, especially your children, I think it's more important to not to force them to read
you can never force them.
Never like to read some important books. No, that doesn't do anything. You should recommend them some books that they would find interested in.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah, and it has to be entertaining in some way.
In some way, yeah.
So one way or the other, it has to be entertaining. Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking about my boy. He's so into dinosaurs, and I want to get him into reading. So I would buy like 그림책, picture books with dinosaurs in it. Then it will get him to read.
Dinosaurs, yeah.
And
Every children's.
You need to read a book that's on your level. So if it's too
Right.
difficult or too easy, then it can not be the one for you.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
So I have a question. Are you a fast reader or do you like to read slowly?
Oh, I like to read slowly, but I should be a fast reader because of my job.
Because you read so many books.
Yeah.
Oh, like how many books
need
do you
to.
read in a month?
In a month, in a year, I would say around 160.
Wow. Wow, it's hard to even read one book.
Yeah, in a year.
Yeah, whole year.
Actually, it's like 60% of Koreans don't read any book, not one book in a year these
Wow. Ooh.
days. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
so
crazy.
100-something books. Yeah, because I think there are two types of people who, like two types of readers, like a 속독 person, a fast reader or a slower person. I think I'm on that side, slow reader. I like to read sentence by sentence, word by word, and then I think about it. I contemplate.
I love that.
I have to digest the words. And truly feel everything and then move on.
Yeah,
That's why I can't finish the book. It takes such a long time.
Yeah.
Like,
but I like
there's so
that way
many
too.
books I want to read, but I really want to
absorb everything.
Yeah, and really feel what the author's feeling, right? You know what I mean?
I know.
And so you agree, but you have to read fast because it's part of
because
your
it's my job.
So what are you currently reading?
I'm currently reading a book on fungus.
Oh,
it
sounds difficult.
Its name is pretty long. 작은 것들이 만든 거대한 세계. Yeah, it's a science book.
A science book.
Yeah, science book.
Amazing.
It's not really difficult that way. No, it's okay. It's just pretty interesting. Fungus, they live in a way that we would not ever imagine. So it's pretty interesting, but I don't think you agree on that right now.
I don't know much about it, but I would love to learn more about it.
Yeah,
Will I get to learn more about it on your YouTube channel? Do you give us a summary?
Sometimes, yeah,
sometimes,
yeah.
if it's really good. And I think I saw on your YouTube that you like to rotate and read like 2 or 3 books at a time.
Yeah, more than that, like 4 or 5 books at a time. Yeah, on different genres, like sci-fi fiction or Korean fiction and science book and philosophy book and things like that.
Do you have like a favorite genre and a least favorite genre?
Least favorite genre would be self-help books.
Oh, that's my favorite genre.
That's your favorite?
How about like essay books?
I like
Korean essays.
I like Korean essays. Yeah.
There's something we have in common. Okay. Yeah. I'm currently reading books about how to raise a bilingual child. Because that's tough in Korea, right?
That's really tough.
To learn a second language. And do you have any book recommendations? Is there a first, like, what's the first book that comes to your mind?
It was actually the Fungus book.
The Fungus book. I've never heard of this book before, though. Is it like a latest release?
Yeah, it was. I think it was published this year.
This year.
And the thing is, I'm still reading on this book, and I find out really interesting to see this fungus, how how this fungus live their life. I think I should say live its life or live their life. It's not really certain, and that's the point. They are like living together, but they are one 생물. But at the same time, they are plural things. So
and that can relate to us.
In some way, and it's very different from human. And we think we have this brain to think and decide everything with our body, but fungus doesn't have any brain or this center point. But they decide everything, and they have this all sensation in their like body. I should say, but they still have this. Human don't know any center point yet. But they do have something in there.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
pretty mysterious and it's a miracle.
Really mysterious, yeah.
That's very interesting. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, your YouTube channel keeps on growing.
Yeah.
And in 2019, you had around 100,000 subscribers, and now you have over 280,000 subscribers. Yeah. Wow. So what do you think led to your channel's popularity?
My channel's popularity? I would say... my channel, it's kind of used by a lot of people like a radio show, I would say. Some subscribers just hear it, listen to it like
a podcast or a radio
show. Because I have pretty good voice, so I think I have this one, and I am always talking about something that is not really in a low quality or like swearing or
it's educational.
It's educational. I always have this content with kind of a high quality content. So
I think people would like that they get to learn a lot of things like fungus.
Yeah,
things fungus. That you would normally not know about. You get lots of information. Yeah. And it's also entertaining. So I think
and also they use my channel as kind of a curator to like borrow books, and they like to follow my book list, and they follow to borrow the books that I introduce on my channel.
Wow, it must be hard to catch up though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So who are your main listeners?
Main listeners?
Age-wise?
Age-wise, 20 and 34 to 40 women.
Mostly women
Yeah.
listeners. I see. All right, well, it's time for our first song break, and the song we're going to listen to is 나란 책 Read Me by Heartfelt featuring Punchinello. We just heard 나란 책 Read Me by Heartfelt featuring Punchinello. I love this song.
I love this song too.
Did you choose this song?
Not really, but I also love this song too. And Heartfelt was on my channel too.
She was on your channel?
Yeah,
Oh.
as an author.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Oh, yeah, her book.
Yeah.
I did read. Yeah. I was the first one to receive the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just to TMI. Before it was released, we met up and she did give it to me.
Oh.
But this is a great song and a great book. All right, let's take a look at some comments.
Yeah.
10월 says, 겨울님, it's my birthday today. Your appearance on live radio feels like a birthday gift.
Oh, happy
birthday!
birthday.
Amazing. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Have a good day and thank you for tuning in. And Cherry Jugule says, 김겨울 작가님 with lots of exclamation marks. I can feel her excitement.
Yeah.
작가님 is raising the average number of books Koreans read.
Thank you. I am doing that.
Absolutely. And Benjamin Vera Cruz says, hello, Winter. Welcome to Wonder Hours. I get that, Lim. I've only gotten the hang of enjoying books, but I'm trying to be disciplined with finishing one before buying or starting another. Each book is a new world to explore. Great topic.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. It's always nice. It feels nice to finish one book and to start a new one, right?
Yeah.
Joey says, "Yeah, yeah, very excited to have you here." And Johnny says, my extended family always thought I was weird because I would bring books with me to read while they were talking about their small town news.
Me too. I used to do that.
Me too,
Yeah.
They wouldn't understand why we
Never.
would carry the book. 무거운데. How heavy can it be, right?
Yeah.
Pat Bungapang says, 작가님, I didn't know you were fluent in English. Why? Are you good at everything?
Thank you. Not everything, but yeah, English a little bit. Yeah.
How did you learn English? Speaking of which.
I learned English when I was like around 10 or 11 in Korean age.
That's when you started to learn?
Started to learn, yeah. And I had this group touring program, and it was for about 2.5 years. And I started with ABC, the alphabets, and then after 2.5 years, I was able to like listen to CNN news and
wow.
etc.
How is that possible?
Because I did only study English for like whenever I had time at that time.
But just only for 2 years.
Two to 3 years. Yeah.
Yes, but that's actually a really short time.
It's a really short time
to learn a new language.
Yeah.
And to speak this well, that's incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
So was the studying tour did it happen in Korea or did
it was in Korea?
So you just learned
in Korea
English only in Korea. You didn't go abroad or anything.
No.
Wow. So you're a very fast learner, and it's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
To learn a language, you're giving so much hope to our listeners.
You need only 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so impressed. Well, Wahaha says, do you have time to do anything else? Oh, good question.
Good
160 books. Wow.
I don't have any time to like meet someone, meet my friends.
Unless
also.
it's on YouTube.
Unless it's on YouTube.
It's for a program.
Because I have to do so many things and also reading too.
Wow, I'm sure you have a full schedule.
Yeah.
Wow, but is there anything you want to do, like a hobby?
Oh, I have some hobbies. Like sometimes I play the piano, and sometimes I exercise, and sometimes I don't know. I watch some sports, and yeah, I do have some hobbies, but it's not like really. 밖에 나가서 하는 취미는 잘 없어가지고.
Like you prefer to stay indoor.
Indoor. I'm always at home.
You're a homebody.
Yeah.
Right, and 정민경 says 영어 너무 어렵다. 열심히 듣고 있습니다. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
계속 듣다 보면 you will
You'll
get a
used to
listening.
it.
Yeah, you'll get a listening ear가 트인다고.
맞아요.
And then now it's become a Korean channel. Okay, going back to the script. So although you're a guest today, you're not a stranger to radio at all. Earlier this year, you stepped down as a radio DJ at another station in Korea.
Yeah.
So you've been a DJ for almost, 5 years, introducing wonderful pieces of Korean literature. That's amazing. 5 years. And
5 years.
what was the experience like?
It was great. I had really good time. I grew up listening to the radio actually. In Korean expression, I was like radio kid, radio kid.
Radio kid.
Yeah, I really enjoyed listening to the radio when I was in school days. And when I first got the call from the producer, I was like so excited to have this chance. And yeah, and the radio show was about Korean literature and not only Korean literature. It was about books. It was a show called Radio Book Club 김겨울입니다. So it was on books. So I got to know a lot of books, a lot of new books, and also I met a lot of writers on set. So yeah, it was a great time. I had a really great time.
Oh, it must have been a very heartwarming time. And must have learned a lot.
Yeah, I learned a lot. Yeah.
And more recently, you've been attending grad school, studying philosophy, like we were mentioning in the introduction. You did study psychology and philosophy in university. But what led you to take that big step?
Yeah, grad school. I was always interested in philosophy in my younger days too. So I always wanted to learn and study more about human. I'm always interested in humanity. So that's why I chose psychology and philosophy in my university. And yeah, I'm always inclined to something abstract concepts. I'm always inclined to that. So that's why I love philosophy. And yeah, I thought it was time to, do this before it's too late. Yeah, that's why I'm attending grad school. And it's 너무 힘들어요.
It sounds difficult.
It's really difficult.
Especially in grad school. Wow. Ooh.
Are you interested in philosophy?
I was at a point.
At a point.
But yeah, I am a little bit.
A little bit.
Which I don't know much about it, but psychology and philosophy sounds like it is a very interesting topic.
Yeah. Psychology, it's more like science, 뭐라 해야 될까? 과학에 속해요. It belongs to science. It's more like in science.
So psychology would be 심리학?
심리학.
심리학. Oh,
People think it's like MBTI, but it's not MBTI.
Not at all. You have to memorize so many names.
So many names, so many part of your brain. And
I took a class in university, psychology class, as a 교양. Like a side, it's 교양, like a class, elective class.
Okay.
And I thought it was going to be something like MBTI, like, fun and like something fun to learn. But no, there were so many names to memorize.
It's more like biology, actually.
Yeah. So that's when I realized, okay, this is not my thing. But philosophy was pretty interesting.
Yeah. It's on the like 정반대 of psychology.
It's the opposite.
Yeah, the opposite way.
All right. So how has your summer break been so far?
My summer break, my original plan was to finish my book and to study more on my area, I should say. On my thesis, I thought I should work on my thesis, but I failed to finish my book, so I'm still working on it. And,
so you're working on a new book?
Yeah, I'm working on my new book.
Wow.
Yeah, so
what is it about? Can you tell us a bit more about it?
It's a book of poetry.
Poetry. Wow.
I'm having a hard time doing that.
Really working on all kinds of genre. Yeah. Now it's 시집, poetry. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Right, so it's time for another song break, and this time we're going to listen to a couple of songs chosen by our guest. First up is 달과 Sixpence by 심규선, Lucia. And after that, we'll listen to 너는 나의 문학, You Are My Literature by 박소은.
달빛에 비친 유리창의 첫 문장
We just heard 너는 나의 문학, You Are My Literature by Park So-eun, and before that, 달과 Sixpence by 심규선 Lucia. And if you're just tuning in, I'm joined by YouTuber and author Kim Kyeol Winter Kim for this week's Good Vibes Only. Right. Let's take a look at some more comments. Shiwol says, 겨울님, I love your song selections. I'm listening while working and it's so healing.
Yeah, I selected some songs about books.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It's called You Are My Literature. I love the last part. 너는 나의 문장?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's kind of romantic.
Yeah. You are my sentence?
Yeah,
Last sentence?
you're my first sentence and
First
you're my last
sentence,
sentence. Last sentence. It's romantic, right?
Very relatable to our
Yeah.
segment today. Wonderful. And YAT says, it's going to be in Korean. 한국어로 글을 읽기를 즐기는 사람들이 생각보다 외국어 실력이 잘 안 늘더라고요. 아무래도 영어를 즐길 수 있는 콘텐츠의 수준이 한국어로 즐길 수 있는 콘텐츠보다 수준이 낮다 보니까 재미가 없어서 자꾸 더 우리말로 된 책, 영화만 찾게 되던데요. 겨울님은 원어로 된 책도 즐겨 읽으시나요? 영어 기피증을 겪으신 적은 없나요? And to translate that into English, those who enjoy reading in Korean tend to have a harder time learning another language because the level of the contents I can enjoy in English is lower than those I can enjoy in Korean. I can't help but seek out only books and movies written in Korean. Do you enjoy reading English books too? Have you ever experienced any aversion to English?
일단 한국어로 답을 하자면 그 영어 책을 그렇게 많이 읽는 편은 아니긴 하거든요. 왜냐하면 저도 이제 한국어 책이 더 잘 읽히긴 하니까.
course, yeah.
근데 영어로 된 텍스트를 저의 의지와 상관없이 계속 읽고 있는데 대학원 때문에
Is it all in English? Or your grad school?
text.
Text is in English.
They're all in English.
Why is it all in English?
그게 그러니까 한국어로 번역본들이 있기는 한데 일단 없는 거는 영어로 읽어요. 그러니까 한국어 번역본이 없으면 영어로 읽고 한국어 번역본이 있는데 번역 수준이 별로 좋지 않으면 또 영어로 읽어요.
So there are some books in your grad school that don't have a
Korean translation.
Korean translation. That's why you have to read it in
yeah,
English.
also some papers that are not translated into Korean because it's papers. You don't translate papers in Korean.
Right.
So I need to read some papers written in English, so I have to read a lot of English text right now.
어쩔 수 없이 영어를 읽고
어쩔 수 없이.
계시는군요.
네.
But that's a good question. I think it's something that many of us can relate to. This the comment by YAT. 많은 분들이 공감하시는 메시지인 것 같아요.
맞아요.
근데 영어를 배우고 싶으면 if you want to learn English, I think 의도적으로
맞아요.
you have to read it intentionally. 재미를 떠나서 재미는 덜하지만 it can be less fun, less entertaining, but you have to 의도적으로 intentionally read it if you want to practice your language. 실력을 늘리고 싶으면 그렇게 해야 되더라고요.
맞아요. 동의합니다.
And then while reading it, highlight the words you don't know. If there are good expressions, write it down.
Yeah.
And you have to study it, right?
Study it.
공부를 하는 느낌으로 해야지.
맞아요.
Then that's how you can improve your language.
그리고 제가 항상 강조하는 건데 입으로 외워야 됩니다, 이거를.
아, 맞아요. 아까
네.
off the record로 겨울님과 얘기를 했는데 엄청 배우셨대요. 영어를 제가 2-3년 how did you study English in such a short time? 2 or 3 years and then 겨울 Winter was telling me that she memorized a lot.
Memorize a
Memorize
lot of text.
Yeah. 엄청 외우셨어요. Like she would memorize the pop songs, memorize the books.
Yeah, memorize the books, and I really listen to a lot of conversation, and yeah, 많이 듣고 많이 외우고.
Listen to it a lot, and like input and output, you have to really work on it. And that's how our author studied English, and it's an amazing way. I think that's the best way. You did a really good job, and we recommend that to you too.
Yeah.
Right, and the next message is from Johnny. Do you read paper books or e-readers? Maybe a mix of both?
A mix of both. I have paper books and I also have ebooks. These days I try to read more ebooks because I don't have much space to put my paper books. I have too many books, like 1,000. I don't know, about 2,000.
Wow.
A lot of books so there's not any more space to put any more books. So I need to buy ebooks and read on my e-readers.
But if
these
you have
days.
to choose one,
If I have to choose one, I would choose paper books.
me too.
Yeah, it's a lot better. Ebooks it doesn't have any
That
like
feeling.
weight.
Yeah.
You can't relate. It's pretty different. Yeah.
I love the feeling of paper, books. The
yeah,
smell of the
smell.
wood.
Yeah.
My
What's the
parents
point?
thought it was a bit weird of me. Like, every time they buy me a new book, I would start with smelling. It was like, oh, it's 약간 변태.
But it's a pretty popular smell.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a nice smell. And now they have perfumes.
Yeah, I tried to say that. Yeah. They have perfume with that book smell, right?
Book smell, yeah. And just the feeling of it, and to read the text on paper,
Yeah.
it's completely different, I would say.
It's completely different. You have this feeling of location, like where you are reading at. Like,
Right.
I'm reading like the middle of the book, or I'm reading like the last part of the book. You have this feeling with paper book, but you don't have that with ebooks. So.
Right, and I think you can focus better when reading paper
Yeah,
books.
focus
right?
better. Yeah.
Right, so moving on to the script. So you're a YouTuber, a former radio DJ, and a current grad school student. But on top of all that, you've also written quite a few books about reading, writing music, 떡볶이, and more.
Yeah.
Well, what do you enjoy most about writing?
Enjoy most about writing. I would say I always thought writing as kind of a calling for me. Like I think everyone who reads a lot gets to write something. Like you have a lot of input, and then there's this point when you should just write everything down. Yeah, because you read a lot of books and you have a lot of time to think about your life and think about yourself, and then you have this, oh, I have to write. You have this point in some, I don't know, at some point.
Right. And where do you get your inspirations for writing?
Inspirations. The thing is, people think writers need inspirations. That's
Not true?
It's true, but not true. Sometimes you need inspirations, but writers who have this as a job, they just sit down and write anything they can to do their job. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I see what you mean, because
Yeah.
it's like that for musicians too.
Yeah, right?
You don't always get the inspiration. Sometimes when you just have to sit down and write a song.
Yeah, you just have to sit down. You just have to do your job. You don't need any inspiration to like 출근 and do your job. You just have to sit down and, oh, I'm writing this today. And you just 머리카락 뜯으면서
start from
yeah,
scratch.
you just do that.
That's a very 현실적인 조언. And you mentioned earlier you're also a talented musician, and you are a singer-songwriter in addition to playing several instruments.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so do you have plans or the time to make any more music?
Not really.
No. So now your life is more focused on books.
Focus on
your
books
channel.
and philosophy. And I used to write songs because I thought I needed some medium to express my feelings and express my emotions, and I enjoyed making music at that time. But I actually liked classical music better than those kind of indie musics. When I was very young, I started playing the piano when I was like 5 years old. So I always loved classical piano and classical music. I also wrote a book on that called 아무튼 피아노.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a book on piano. It's an essay. So as I decided to play the piano again, I got to know that I loved classical music better than any other music genre. So yeah, I'm not making any music these days. Because I can't make classical music, right? I can't.
It's not a genre that you can do it easily or yourself. Right? You need a whole team.
I need a whole team, and I need this I need to practice a lot if I want to like show everyone me playing classical piano. So yeah, I can't do that anymore.
But you can still do it as a hobby.
I can do that as a hobby.
Maybe
yeah.
in the future. But for now, you're working on
for now, yeah.
other things. And Benjamin Vera Cruz says, how is your songwriting different from writing other materials?
Oh, songwriting. How is my songwriting different from writing other materials? How is this different? Of course, I need some melody first. Yeah, I used to write songs from melody and then lyrics.
Oh.
Yeah, so I need melody first, and it just comes to my mind. You know that, right? It just comes to my mind, and then
you just sit down.
You develop that. Yeah, I just sit down and play the guitar or piano and anything, and sketch the song, and then
that's really how it works.
It works. That's how it works.
Somebody will. I mean, if you're working with a partner, someone will work on the melody, and then I would be sitting next to the person writing lyrics, and you would work in harmony and collaborate together.
Yeah, and then you get the lyrics after that. So,
that's how I worked on my songs before too. Yeah, so. And we'll put a bookmark in our conversation for a little bit because it's time for some more songs. So let's listen to 책갈피 Bookmark by Lovelyz, as well as 책갈피 속에 접어둔 사랑, Love Folded in a Bookmark by 김광진. We just heard Kim Kwang-jin with 책갈피 속에 접어둔 사랑, Love Folded in a Bookmark, and before that, Lovelyz with 책갈피 Bookmark. I love the song list for today,
Me
all
too.
related to books.
Yeah.
Right, and taking a look at one more comment, Benjamin Vera Cruz says, do you ever get into a reading slump? If so, how do you get back on track? And do you have any tips on how to maintain focus on reading?
I sometimes get a reading slump, but not much, but sometimes. And when I get to this reading slump, I just do something else and wait. Do something else and wait. I just watch sports. I watch YouTube. I do some like video games. I do some PC games. I do whatever I want to do other than reading, and I just wait. And then at some point, I just think, oh, I need to read again, and then I just read again. So I give myself some time to like. To have some time from reading. And any tips on how to maintain focus in reading? I think the most important thing is curiosity. You need to have this curiosity about the world. If you don't have any question about the world, you don't need to read anything about yourself or about the world. So you need to have this curiosity, have to keep it, and when you are reading a book, it's better to have any pencil or pen with on your hands, because just doing that, just holding a pen, it helps you to concentrate on reading.
Yeah, I agree with that. And you can always highlight it, underline it, and write your notes down.
Yeah,
that's very helpful. And it's actually quite hard to focus on reading because there's so many distracting factors.
Like you have these
nowadays.
smartphones, you have all these like alerts, like wanting you. So yeah, it's really hard to concentrate.
Right, and so
days.
many things comes up to your mind, like I need to do my house chores. Like like so many things on your mind. So it's hard to focus.
Yeah.
So when you read, do you only read? Do you just focus on reading, or do you multitask?
I try to read only, but I do multitask.
You do listen to music and do other stuff too.
I don't listen to music, but I sometimes I do that too. I'm reading and I'm like, what do I eat for dinner today? I do that too.
Wait a minute, let me check my phone.
Yeah.
And you're scrolling.
What am I doing tomorrow? I check my phone, and I do that too. But I try to focus on reading.
Yeah, absolutely. So many distractions,
Yeah.
but let's try to focus, everybody. All right, it's almost time to say goodbye. And before we let you go, what's next for you?
As I said, I'm working on my next book.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's poetry. Yeah.
Good luck with that, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm working on that. I hope I hope it goes fine. And yeah, and I'm also studying on philosophy, so I hope I can, write a good thesis. Yeah, that's next for me. And yeah.
Good luck
That's all
on
I
all
think.
of your future projects. We'll be looking forward to that. And thank you so much for coming and for sharing your good vibes with us today. Have a wonderful day and please come join us again.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
We're going to say goodbye to Gyeol and also close the